All right, so our last review of the day is going to be for Batman: Mask of the Phantasm here. This is the animated film that got released in theaters, 1993. This ended up winning the poll there. I put up a poll of what Batman movies should we review, and this won it. People can vote on different polls there on twitter.com. Afternoon Tune, just type that in and you'll be able to find us. And why are we doing a review of this? Besides it being just a great fucking movie, well, it is 85 years of Batman. This is the celebration of the Batman character that's been around for that long there. The iconic Dark Knight himself there. Um, and this was based off of kind of almost like a prequel to the Batman the animated series, because this tells a lot of the origin of kind of how he became Batman there. We see kind of that of him actually figuring out his identity, how he kind of figured out with the bats and put on the costume, and his motivation behind being Batman. And the premise of this is that you have this killer kind of going around the phantasm there, as you kind of see there. This killer kind of going around knocking off all these different mob bosses. And the police are implicating Batman in these murders there, but of course it's not Batman. This isn't Zack Snyder's Batman, so it's not him. So, you know what I mean? It's a lot of the Batman trying to clear his name there, also catch this killer and catch behind the motivation behind these murders there. Sage, what are your thoughts on Batman: Mask of the Phantasm?
This is such a great classic, and it was nice to revisit, especially we were, gosh, a year out at this point from Kevin Conroy passing away as well, which he just did, I think, recently. His final performance was released in the Crisis on Infinite Earths animated films, and I believe that's the last thing he'll be in before that well's kind of run dry. But it was really nice to come back and revisit this. It's been a couple of years since I watched it, so it hadn't been a ton of time, but it is impressive to me, even now, just revisiting it, how much plot they're able to work into what, an hour and like 15, an hour and 20 minutes.
Yep.
It's not even a full feature length. Um, and yet I think that this movie has so much stronger characterization, even than a lot of other like live action Batman movies that I really like. In less than half the time, I think it's so kind of direct and forward about what it's doing. Like you said, it's got a little bit of that kind of year one origin story feel to it. There's even a scene where he's cornered by cops. That feels very, very lifted out of year one. Um, and then one thing I kept thinking about while I was watching this is with the Andrea Beaumont character who serves as a love interest at the kind of at the start of this movie. I I was thinking about it and I got into a long conversation about it as well, but I think by far this cartoon has the best written kind of more romantic subplot as far as like a love interest character over any of the live action movies,
Mm,
or how any of those films have handled the dynamics with a love interest and trying to have a female main character to play off of Bruce Wayne, and for that to feel like really, to try and have that feel deep and connective. I don't think a single one of the live action films has done it as well as this animated movie does.
yeah. It's not the creepy thing when they try to have Batman hook up with Batgirl in there, so it's not
Thank
that
God.
weird creepy dynamic. And this has a lot of the talent from the Batman the animated series, from that on this. So this was produced between the first and second season of the series there. Um, and so this was directed by Bruce Timm along with Eric Roskamy there, and the screenplay was by Alan Burnett and Paul Dini, Martin Pasco, and then Michael Reeves there. Alan Burnett and Paul Dini are famous writers on Batman the Animated Series. They wrote a lot of legendary classic episodes of Batman the Animated Series. Paul Dini is also credited with being the creator of Harley Quinn and Terry McGinnis. There, Harley Quinn, which went on to become legendary character. Obviously, I think that's kind of the last kind of maybe big original character there. That's not a legacy character from comics. I would say probably.
To get introduced. The only other one that comes to mind off just right away is Livewire, which was also them in the Superman animated series, which was, a direct kind of follow up.
Uh,
But that was around the same time. So
Yeah. And the Phantasm character actually makes a cameo in a Batman Beyond movie. The character actually does make a return there. Um,
she appears in uh the season one finale of Justice League Unlimited, which is titled Epilogue, which is also a hidden series finale to the Batman Beyond storyline.
yeah, because Amanda Waller hires her to kill Terry's parents because she wants to recreate the murders of the parents. So that's going to give him the motivation to be Batman and everything like that. I didn't really like it that he was like, I guess technically his son. I guess Bruce Wayne because she put his
He rewrote. Yeah.
like, I didn't really technically like that, but whatever. Yeah, wasn't it like they impregnated his mother there with Bruce Wayne's DNA, right? Or
Yeah, basically they re they told him he was getting a flu shot, and instead it turned his genetic material into Bruce Wayne's genetic material. So
yeah,
anytime for the rest of his life, anytime that he climaxed, he was
yeah,
putting someone else's DNA into the world.
yeah. So that was yeah, I guess that was weird. I don't know why that was weird. But you mentioned, yeah, the chemistry between him and Andrea there, who spoiler alert from the movie that's, you know what I mean, over 30 years old. Spoiler alert there that she is the Phantasm there, Andrea, who's voiced by Donna Delaney in this. And you see a clip right here. And you see that of course Bruce Wayne, he keeps up this persona of he's the black bachelor, he's the playboy, to throw people off the scent that he's Batman. And there's a scene where he's around the group of women there, and all the women are throwing themselves at him. You got
Or
the
throwing their drinks at him.
throwing them drinks at him there. You got the one woman who was like, he's scared of the I word, and then she says engagement there. Yeah, so but you see that Andrea really stands out above the rest, and you really get that sense there of they're able to really understand each other and match each other, and you get that with this scene right here.
If you have a visitor.
Hi. Hey, what happened to you? Trip over some loose cash? It's been 3 days since we met and still no calls. I figured you must be dead or something.
You expect every guy you meet to call you up?
The ones that are smart enough to dial a phone. What is that?
Jiu-jitsu.
Gesundheit. That was a joke.
It's like, I'm taking this
Joke.
very seriously.
It takes years to master.
I'm taking doing karate moves in my backyard very
Got a
serious.
few moves of my own. Miss Hovey's self-defense class for girls. Oh, he laughs.
You see the good
Nice
chemistry
footwork.
there. You see
Can you dance too?
between the two there.
And huge credit to Andrea Romano too. She was the voice casting director for the entire DC animated universe, from Batman to Batman Beyond and Superman and Justice League and Static Shock even. And she really had a talent for matching up actors to these characters.
And people also may find that voice familiar because Donna Delaney was also the voice of Lois Lane in Superman the animated series. So people also might find that familiar as well. Um, So and then throughout the course of this movie, you see much like, basically a more bigger budget scale of Batman the animated series in terms of buildings, in terms of, the way the Art Deco kind of style of it, and you really see that in it. Even the first opening, kind of when the movie opens, you see a lot of that kind of going on. Very much iconic look of the Batman kind of series there. Initially, this was going to be a direct DVD release, but Warner Bros. Ended up releasing it in theaters there. Now it didn't do very well in theaters. It
Mhm.
had a budget of 6 million, which man, that's very conservative nowadays. 6 million, and it had a box office of 5.6 million. And they've re-released it. I think it just recently got re-released in theaters for the 85th
Oh, really?
in for the 85th anniversary there for that. Also, another big thing because Batman, any Batman movie, usually there is Joker, and Mark Hamill is in this as the Joker. There, do you feel like he was needed in Batman: Mask of the Phantasm?
Oh, I think this is one of the best uses of him. Um, Even just like in small ways that aren't his own exact dialogue, but in the flashbacks, kind of when you're seeing Bruce and Andrea's relationship, they go to a like a world of tomorrow like theme park kind of thing. And I love that that is the Joker's kind of like dungeon or lair in the present day, and it's all broken down, and you get this kind of great visual signature of how the world of tomorrow for Gotham is kind of this broken, fallen kind of hellscape at times, especially with people like the Joker there. I thought that was a great bit of just pure visual storytelling with him. I think this is one of some of the best performance that Mark Hamill ever puts in as this character in his entire career doing it. I think his single best laugh that he's ever done is at the end of this movie. Um, but I do think that it is necessary to have him here because and this is part of the reason why I think this story does such an effective job at telling the romantic subplot because it ends up not exactly being a subplot. It plays in the main plot, right? The Phantasm is kind of the other side of the coin of Batman, and they move in opposite directions, right? Their character arcs across the story here. And Joker, and today it's been done so many times that if you were to do it now, maybe it'd feel played out. But at the time, this felt like such a well, I didn't see it exactly when it first came out, but not too far after. And it really, I think, is some of the best example of the Joker just tearing people's lives apart, like truly causing chaos among just even something as small as a single two-person family and the degradation that he can apply to someone's mental state over decades of time. And there's even some comic book follow-ups that have the Phantasm character way, way later in the future, like almost Dark Knight Returns, like old Batman type timeline, and the Joker is still, even in those comics, just ruining this woman's life, and it's a tragedy. But I think I think he's essential to the plot here.
Yeah. And you see kind of a little bit of an origin story of the Joker as well. He was also kind of a small time guy working for a crime family there that's kind of had a connection to her, and then her father there got linked up with the mob there, and in
And
the
I like that kind of vague too. Like you see him in the old pictures, and you know he's part of the gang, but nobody has a name. They don't exactly name him either. They kind of he's like he was there, but it seemed like he almost even then had like one foot out of the door. There was something off about him compared to the rest of the gangsters, even.
yeah. So that I thought that was kind of really good how they kind of set that up there with him. And then he kind of pops in the movie, also not in the flashbacks, also in the flashback, but also you see that because all these criminals, all these monsters are running scared because Phantasm going knocking these people off one by one. So you have this very old gangster there, as you see, Valestro, I think his name is there,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's coming to Joker, much like in kind of Dark Knight, where the criminals go to him. It's like you're the only one that can take this guy out. Hey, you're a freak. They're a freak. You guys can, cancel each other out there. And then you see kind of that's how Joker kind of gets more of the mix there with kind of the creation there. So I thought that was kind of really good. They do with that. So yeah, I mean Mark Hamill, who's always been really terrific as the Joker, his performance there. Mark Hamill, I mean, he does kind of have two voices. Either he does like I'm a guy from New York voice, or he does the Joker voice. That's kind of like kind of his two main
Yeah,
voices there. But he does Joker really well. Do you think he's the defining Joker there?
he is to me. He 100% is for me.
Yeah. So love all what he does kind of there with that. Um, didn't really like
He
him in the.
tells jokes that are actually kind of funny in this one too. Like
uh,
some of his joke one-liners that he'll do, like they're actually pretty good singers.
I didn't really like him in the Killing Joke, but that was kind of a disappointment all around there for.
Yeah, I mean the book is great, but yeah, they did not do a good job adapting that at all.
Yeah. And you see kind of his play of he's always in the mix with something. You also see him working with the I think he was like not a DA but a councilman, right? That
Yeah,
guy,
he's a counselor.
yeah, who he's the one leading the charge against Batman and wanting to arrest Batman because he thinks he's the one doing these murders there, committing these murders, and then
And that's one of the best scenes of someone where you actually see the pain that people are in when Joker infects them with his laughing gas. Because a lot of the time it's just you see the dead body with a smile on it. I feel like most of the time, or you'll hear him start to laugh, but they really emphasize like the pain that the people that get infected with that are in. Like he's wheezing and tears are coming out of his eyes, and he looks so sick. It's that's I think a really good kind of genuinely like disturbing scene.
let's see right here.
Beaumont needed me to help him and his kid get out of town. He kept in touch.
When was the last time you spoke to him?
Years ago, my first election campaign, I was running out of money and asked Beaumont for help. He said no.
So you sold him to the mob.
I was broke, desperate. They said all they wanted was their money back.
Councilman. Councilman,
Jeez, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it
You
does a
see
really
how it kills people with that one.
yeah. I mean, yeah, he's just kind of going crazy from there. Yeah, the laughing gas that you kind of see with that one. Um, yeah, any weak spots for you with the movie at all?
I mean, I wish it was longer. That maybe just a tiny bit longer, just to get to enjoy more of it. But no. I mean, I think this is really tight. Um, it it's got a fast pace. It doesn't waste your time. It gets in, gets out, packs a lot into that. It's got two great antagonists. I think the best well written love story in a Batman adaptation, and it's got like the iconic voices of Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. Um, yeah, there's really no real drawbacks for me. I'd go as far as to say that this is my third favorite Batman film, like live action animated, like just out of all of them.
Yeah. Would you say people maybe should watch this before they watch Batman the animated series? It would get them into Batman the animated series.
I yeah, I think so. I think I've at least introduced someone to that series, at least one person by having them watch this first, and that totally sold them on watching the rest of it. So
Yeah. It's only an hour and 26 minutes, and people can. It's a quick watch there. I don't know why it's not on Max. I don't know why I had to buy it on Blu-ray there. Don't know why it's not. Seems like they got all the
I
other.
don't think
Oh, good.
I was gonna say I don't think the people at Max know why things are or are not on there anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna email Dave Zasloff, man. But put Batman Mask of the Phantasm on Max. I'm gonna send him a very strong worded email about
Because
that.
the animated series is on there, right?
Yeah, that's on there.
And that's weird because I've got the box set, the Blu-ray for the series, and my copy of the Mask of the Phantasm came with that box set. It's one of the discs in that set. So you'd think if the series is on streaming, this would be too, because of the way that was packaged, because that was only a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Yes, that's really weird to me there. But yeah. Yeah, so amazing show. Batman the animated series is, I think it's obviously people held that up. It's not only one of the great superhero shows, but just one of the greatest animated shows, period, there. And then it has a great movie to go along with it with Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Two really good ones too.
Uh,
There's also the Sub-Zero movie, which that's all around Mr. Freeze. That's also really, really good.
Maybe Matt Reeves can watch that, get some inspiration from, watching that, and Mr. Freeze and Sub-Zero there. Yeah, so it has a great companion movie with it. I think, yeah, because this is almost treated like a prequel there, like a Batman Year One type of thing with this. If you want to watch this, get an idea of it, and then go into Batman animated series, that'd be a great bridge for them for that. Just to see how they feel about it. And just strong storytelling all around with this, with the voice cast, with the writing, with the animation there, the voice performances, iconic Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, who have defined Batman and Joker for decades, for generations of people there. When people read the comics, they hear the voice of Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill even today when they kind of read the comics of Batman. So yeah, absolutely love this. I give it. Mm, I'll give it a This Is Cinema for Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. What about you?
That's the exact same for me. This is cinema. Third favorite Batman movie out of all of them.
Okay.